everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be doing a first impressions on the new Urban Decay Naked Ultraviolet palette. This palette was sent to me by Urban Decay, which I'm super thankful to be part of PR. That is so amazing, to be honest. But again, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my first initial thoughts on this palette. So if you guys would like to see that, definitely continue watching. Also, if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. I do upload 3 times a week, Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So definitely subscribe so you don't miss out. And let's just go ahead and jump right in. I have opened it up and I have seen what it looks like. I actually got it at work and I showed my coworker and she was like, I just want to swatch it. And I was like, you can't swatch it because I haven't used it yet. So here is what the outer packaging is. It is their standard like plastic packaging like all of the other Naked palettes. I thought the packaging was beautiful as well. I love the matte and then like the slight shimmers on the packaging. It's super beautiful. Really love the packaging. And then inside I love the color scheme in here as well. I thought it was browns, which it kind of is, but it's more on like the corally side with purple, and then you do get this beautiful pop of mint shade right there. So I haven't played with this, I haven't swatched it or anything like that. You do also get a mirror in the palette. Again, it's pretty standard to the Naked palettes. And then you get this fluffy brush. Maybe I should use this brush for today. Ooh, I just noticed that it has kind of like a clear, I don't know if you can tell. Oh yeah, kind of. Handle right there. That's kind of cool. So you do get kind of like a pencil brush and then this fluffy brush. I kind of wish this fluffy brush was more fluffier, not so stiff. But we will go ahead and use this brush as well. So my eyelids are primed with concealer and that's already set as well. What do I want to do? When you think of the Ultraviolet palette, you think of like purpley colors to do. But if I look at this palette, like my eyes just go to the purple and this mint color. So I think that's what I'm going to go for. I'm going to use the purples and the mint and yeah, go from there. So the first shade I'm going to be using in this palette is the shade called Optimize, which is this color right there. It's a pale lavender shade. I'm going to be taking this Coastal Scents Classic Blending Brush, again, just in this color right there. So you have 4 matte shades and everything else is pretty much like a satin or a shimmer, which I kind of wish I had more matte shades, but you can use some of these satin shades, not really on my crease, but more to like deepen the outer part of my look. So here is the shade called Optimize, again, which is this lavender shade. It's actually building up pretty nicely. I thought it was going to be more like of a pale lavender shade, but again, it's building up pretty nicely. So on camera, it doesn't look like it's very pigmented, but honestly, I've been going back and forth applying and dipping my brush in here and applying. I think it's beautiful. It's a beautiful lilac color. I think it's pretty. For everyday use, it's nice. I do wish they had like a deeper matte purple in here because honestly, these are all like shimmer. They're not shimmer. They're more on the satin side. And let's see. Yeah, definitely satin. These two darker colors are super pretty actually, but I can't really apply those in my crease to deepen. So what I think I'm going to do is actually just kind of do like a halo eye. And I think I'm going to keep the same brush here, just kind of wipe it down. And I think I'm going to go in with the shade called Cyberpunk, which is this color right there. And I'm just going to apply this in my outer and inner corners. This color doesn't have any fallout at all, but I am noticing that I kind of need to really apply, and then I'm kind of going like this and you can see there's not that much kickback, but I feel like it's not like super pigmented that you have to be careful on how much you're applying. Super pretty though. Purple is like my favorite like color to wear. I feel like it's a wearable color. Yeah, I like this color. It's really pretty. I just realized that I said I was going to use this brush and I haven't been, but I've only been using one brush for this look so far, so I guess we're good. I am going to go with the brush that came with this palette. I don't really reach for brushes that are in palettes. Do you guys use them? I don't really use them, and usually the palettes are still in their plastic packaging if they do come in a palette. I just honestly never reach for them. So I think what I'm going to do is apply the shade called Purple Dust, which is this color right there. Let me go ahead and swatch this for you guys. Or ooh, this is like a deepened blue purple. Ooh, that's super pretty. So it's right there. It does have some shimmer, as you guys can see. Again, this is a color that I definitely cannot really apply in my crease, but we're gonna use this to kind of deepen the outer corners and inner corners as well. And I'm gonna go in with the pencil side. Nice. I think I'm gonna apply the mint color in my like center part. I think that'll be super pretty. So now that I applied the purple to both eyes, I think now I'm going to go in with the shade called Lucid, which is the mint color in this palette. And I'm going to go in with a brush, but I feel like I'm going to get the most pigmentation with my finger. But again, I'm just going to try my brush. I'm going to take the Sigma E58 brush. And again, just apply it in the center. I feel like it doesn't really pack a punch. So again, I'm going to go in with my finger here. Ooh, that is beautiful. That's super pretty. I don't think I've ever paired mint with with purple before. That's so nice. I like the color combo a lot. So I'm just going in with my pencil brush with the dark purple. I haven't dipped into the palette. I'm just gonna kind of going in with whatever's on the brush. Okay, so I wish this color packed a punch more. Like I wish it was more like how shimmery that Melt Cosmetics Smoke Sessions palette is. I think that would have been beautiful. But overall, I'm loving the color combo of the mint with the purple. I think it's super pretty. So on the under eye area, I'm gonna go in with this brush again with Purple Dust, and I'm gonna apply it on my under eyes. Then I'm going to go in with the fluffy side brush, and I'm going to just take the shade called Warning, which is this one right there, just to kind of give a slight pink tint to the under eyes as well. I do have some fallout. I feel like I'm dipping into the palette a lot because it doesn't seem like it has crazy pigmentation, but you do get fallout, so I would definitely suggest doing your eyes first. So I'm going to apply my mascara and lashes off of camera, and I'll come back and do swatches on all of the shades in the palette, and then I will let you guys know what my first impressions on the new Urban Decay Naked Ultraviolet palette. So this is the final look. What do you guys think? I did kind of cut this lash a little too short, so don't mind those. So let's do some swatches before we get into my final thoughts. So the first shade in here is the shade called Trippin', and this is a pale, like brow bone type of color. Very beautiful. Don't mind this one. This is where I swatched the outer corner shade. Next up is the shade called Mind Slip. Ooh, this is super creamy. This is like a peachy color. Kind of blended into my hand there, but that's a matte. This shade right here called Days is a shimmer. Ooh, it has like a orange pink reflect to it. It's very pretty. There is that shade right there. The next shade is the shade called Hacked, which is actually a matte shade. And it's kind of like a light mauve brown color. Ooh, nice. Next up, we have the shade called VR, which this is a pretty interesting color right there. Ooh, this kind of reminds me of the shade called Solstice from their Moon Dust, but like a more toned down version. Right there. And then we have the shade called Lucid, which is the mint color. This is very beautiful. I feel like if it had more of a punch, it would be super, super awesome. Next up, we have the shade called Optimize, which is the shade we applied in my crease, the first shade. It's the first purple in this palette. It's a lavender color. Next up, we have the shade called Warning, which is, it's kind of like a I don't know, did you say holographic? No. Duochrome a little bit, like purple pink duochrome. Right there. Next up, we have the shade called Cyberpunk, which is what I applied in the outer corners to kind of deepen the look. Right there. Next up is Euphoric, which is a beautiful like duochrome shade. Blue purple duochrome. Next up is a shade called Purple Dust, which is the color that I use to deepen, which does have some shimmer in it. And then lastly, the shade called Digital is kind of like a brown. Yeah, a brown. This is a satin. This is definitely not a matte. Right there. So here are all of the shades in this palette. As you can see, they're really light. I did find when applying this on my eyes that I did find that I had to go into my brush and kind of swirl it in there because I felt like it wasn't super pigmented. I feel like this palette will be good for people that aren't used to color. Like they like the Urban Decay formula, but they don't go all out in their eye looks and need something that's super pigmented. I feel like this palette's more for somebody that wants to have color in their eye looks, but they don't want something that's super pigmented either, because it has pigmentation and it's really light, as you can see as well, but I don't feel like you can go overboard unless you're really swirling your brush in there. So I feel like it's nice and buildable for a person that isn't like super into color, if that makes any sense. I also feel like this look will probably look better if I applied like a white base, because I feel like just going over my concealer and the powder that I had isn't really making these pop. I feel like it looks beautiful, but I don't think it's like over the top either, you know what I mean? Actually a good palette for work. Like I want to use color, but I don't want to be super intense. Like that's what I'm looking for, is that this palette's not super intense. If you want color and you like the Urban Decay formula, I think you should definitely pick this up. I definitely want to get more use out of this. I'll probably be using this in a future Shop My Stash video so I can get more use out of it. But first impressions, I feel like it's not super pigmented where you have to be careful how much you're applying. Again, I think it's a really nice purple palette for everyday use and for work, again, for myself. So I like the color scheme in here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this first impressions. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please also subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!